I go lip singer. Nairobi girl come my way. Baby no play. Just the other day. Now I'm addicted now. Nairobi girl come my way. Baby no play. Just the other day. Now I'm addicted now.
I said that deep love, we are reaching from the toughest. We're calling on me, we have to prove we are the toughest. You clean me soul, beating spirit, me na passes. Me baby no feel it for you. Say, African lady.
With your host.
Yeah, them a say my hey, I'm a biggie man, I need a biggie girl. Kitana ni saraka say ya ni real jitima. Moto nipe habida holy vera sidika. Taking sote kwenye industry, singa na piga.
Nairobi girl come my way. Baby no play. Just the other day. I'm addicted now. Nairobi girl come my way. Baby no play. Just the other day. Now I'm addicted now. Girl, let me give you some natural love. You're not a bad guy, let me be your lover. You're very, very smooth, so baby now. Until you take my breath away. You are the only girl that I know. I'm only one I go carry us to mama. You're my African queen. You're the reason why I sing. I can't wait to give you my ring. You are the only girl that I know. The only one I won't take you home to mama. Give you everything, like you cook away tonight. Africa's pity me, now tell you that you wine. We can come my way. Baby, no play. Just the other day. Now I'm addicted now. Nairobi girl come my way. Baby, no play. Just the other day. Now I'm addicted now.
African girl, I'm not a face, and you know.
Good afternoon, family.
Call for your love.
And rising.
Baby.
10 minutes past the top of the hour.
What are your kesho tu skiza ya leo? Not on the one degede, cheza degede. Mtoto mtanashati hapana rangi.
Happy New Week.
One degede.
Second week of 2026, January in it.
Give me push love, hata pale kwa ki.
Caleb Singer playing right here on the media of the 21st century. Big up to Caleb Singer featuring Jeff Arco, and of course karibuni sana to yet another beautiful conversation right here with me on the media of the 21st century. This is Black Hot Fire Network radio station, and of course shout out to everyone who's here with us for the first time on YouTube, on BitChute, to those who are connecting back with us on Amazon TV, Roku TV, on your Android TV. In case you're on the radio station Wagwan, in case you're also on Amazon and not Amazon but on Spreaker and Spotify. Hope you guys are doing great and had a beautiful weekend. And of course, karibuni sana to yet another beautiful conversation. It's the second week of January 2026, and I hope so far so good. Personally, I can't complain. And welcome to today's conversation. We're going to be talking about the African leaders, stroke the puppets, because they're not leaders. These people are puppets. They're not leaders. The leaders term is actually very overrated, very so much overrated. These people are puppets, because if you talk about the amount of stealing they do in African countries is so crazy. Just during this weekend, we had Kenyans going crazy, because apart from just Aisha Speed coming to Kenya, which was, I'm going to share about that as we get started, we also had the review of the Talanta Stadium, which is one of the biggest stadiums that Ruto's regime is actually building. And they promised us a wild, what is the term? A wild, I can't remember the world classic. I can't remember the term. There's a term he has been using, and the people have been referring back to that, but I'm going to be checking in a few. And the people are demanding that. They're demanding the seats, because he's given us some bullshit type of a seat, on that particular stadium. They look like a bucket, People are demanding world class seats. I don't know what's the term. There's a term that people are using, of which Ruto actually used. So karibuni sana, that's our conversation, or top of the conversation today. And along with that, it's gonna be backed with a viral video that actually is going and circulating online, where we're seeing some Africans in Russia, and where we have the Russian soldiers actually abusing the African colleagues and calling them disposables, literally, where they have to do the dirty work as the other people survive. And I made a comment on one of the videos, and so many people have been actually, some people are attacking me, some people are agreeing with me, and I'm gonna be sharing that particular video and also the comments because there are two of them. And also we have, of course, that is Rigathi Gachagua, the current aspiring presidential candidate. Of course, next year we have election. Remember, this week, that is actually in 3 days, Uganda is going to be going for their election. Museveni has claimed the Gen Zs love him, but on this other end, we have Bobby Wine, who also has massive number of influence towards the young people. So we're going to see how the elections are going to be going. That is in Uganda. But of course, we're going to be talking about, along with that, where we have the UN military vehicles were seen entering Kenya. Now, people are speculating if this could be the Minnesota case of where the Somalians stole lots of funds and they're being redirected back to Kenya, where we've seen that actually Kenya and Ruto being one of the, allegedly, being one of the beneficiaries of this money. People are actually starting to question, why do we have the UN military vehicles entering Kenya? And remember, we also had like 2 months ago, before we closed work, either November or December, we had Kenya announcing of finding about 590 something million or billion worth of gold. And I reported where within the beginning of December, we had already the displacement of people, where 8 people actually were left killed. So we're going to be talking about that as well. And we're going to be talking about also Kenya. Remember, Kenya was actually had reached limits of borrowing. But now, I don't know how they did it, but Kenya is planning to borrow 1 trillion again, and so much more coming also, where we have the CIA thinking that they are slick. Lately, we've been having so many videos of white men and women selling local foods to local people. So the question is, and then of course, understanding the system, the way it has been set up. It's very rare you see a white person, a Chinese, specifically these people who are not Africans, suffering or doing this kind of jobs. So apparently someone is actually connecting the dots, and people are connecting the dots, and they're questioning, could this be the CIA actually collecting data on people walking around acting like actually these are poor white men and women? So we're going to be talking about that and so much more, aligned as we discuss also about the African leaders and how they actually have to maintain silence when power is challenged. When you're talking about power, real power, like Ibrahim Traore, when we had Gaddafi, remember when we had Gaddafi, so many leaders didn't talk about it. We have currently where we have Ibrahim Traore, who is the current leading president of the Alliance Sahel state, and we've seen the massive changes and the attempted assassinations, and how actually this goes back to African leaders and why they don't talk about this, and how it actually leads to assassination attempts in this real African leaders. So karibuni sana, but we're going to be starting with what is happening, what has been happening in Kenya. We had Aisha Speed landing yesterday in the 254, and it was crazy. But before we get into that, a quick reminder to get our application on the Google Play Store. Blackout Fire Network is the name. We have amazing merchandise, hoodies, t-shirts, beanies, different colors, different sizes. But we speak your health is your wealth. So ensure you get yourself some amazing organic supplements on the like of CMOS, ashwagandha, turmeric gummy bears. We also have some amazing brain and focus formula, which I love to share, because critical thinking has been lost, and maybe some brain and focus can help you regain back your critical thinking. I bet it should. We also have some beetroot, we have multivitamin, and so much more on our BHFN sports page. So karibuni sana again. My name is
Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just 1 capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
And in case you have any question, facing any difficulties, kindly ensure you email us at kcnewsam15@gmail.com. Rather, at the sports page itself, we have an active chat right there down below. Just leave your comments. Rather on the show page itself, better if you are on our WhatsApp page as well. You can actually ask us directly and you'll be answered in case you're facing any difficulty on purchasing, or maybe you need any guidance, which also all the guidance are actually put on the product itself. But karibuni sana once again. We have Mr. Blackout Fire before we get started. Shout out to Baron Scott as well. Karibu sana Kit.
Asante sana, Joby. How you doing today?
I'm great. How was your weekend?
Didn't have much of a weekend. I didn't have no weekend. Constantly work for me, guys. No weekend. So don't go crazy. Don't go crazy about not doing no show. I didn't get a day off, guys. I didn't get any day off. I worked Saturday. I worked Sunday. So I really didn't make it home. I was down in South Florida Friday and Saturday trying to make it back to the house. And then I left out yesterday. So I didn't really have any days off. So when you come for me, I didn't have any days off, guys. That's why I didn't do a show this weekend. So make sure, I'll say it again, do the Africa Today show for everybody. Comes to me and goes crazy. I didn't get a day off.
I woke up on Saturday trying to check. Actually, was it Saturday or yesterday? I woke up yesterday checking if you did a show. I was like, can't do nothing. Sorry about that.
I didn't get home. I was just too exhausted, guys. I didn't get home early enough. I got home Saturday afternoon. I had to leave back out early Sunday morning, come up here to Dallas and then Oklahoma. So I thought I was gonna do one yesterday in the hotel. I just like, man, I can't do no damn show. No, I just can't do it no more like that. It's just too much.
You slept on a hotel?
Yeah, I said let me stop in a hotel and just do it on my phone. But you guys know I like to share videos, so I don't got no videos on my phone. I just like I said I can't do that. I'll wait the next weekend. You know, it's just one of those weekends. I just didn't get home, so not for long, a couple of hours. So I just had enough time to set anything up. So I apologize.
Sorry.
But go ahead, Jerry.
But yes, before we get started to the real conversations, I want us to share a little bit about I Should Speak, because last week we talked about him and the countries he visited. He was in South Africa. He went to South Africa, that is in Eswatini.
Kenya didn't show out. Kenya didn't show out more than anybody right now. More than the number two is South Africa. So it's been Kenya right now showing out even more than South Africa. So you got them going to Angola, South Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Eswatini, Zambia, it was Rwanda, but the crowd was good. The crowd's been good in all. It's been overwhelming. Kenya was overwhelming. Like it was even bigger than South Africa. So Zambia was good. He was in Zambia. It was good. Zimbabwe was funny when some girl tried to talk. They said, "Nah, there's a lot of gold diggers in this club."
I saw the video on TikTok. Yeah, when the other I Show Speed of Zimbabwe was trying to take him to the club, then it was like, "There's a lot of gold diggers here." I saw that. I think at this point, and if you've seen Kenya on the internet, because we've discussed and we keep on discussing about it, how Kenya actually is it's a country that can easily put you into fame. I don't know. No, this is not even nothing to do with I Show Speed, but we've been discussing about how other even artists or celebrities, when they come here, they say, man, Kenya has this overwhelming love from the people to the point you can easily explode more than how you can actually go viral in your own country. Like they put you like on the map for real. And that is just so there. That's why you see even our people, sometimes we feel bad because some of our people go viral for some damn shit. Because with that much active on the internet, we'll see some crazy things, we repost it, it goes viral, people like it.
But Kenya was shown in a good light. But I show Speed with the way the tourist person met him, and it's been nothing but success. And I like the way he's interacting with the people. Like I said, this has been good for Africa. So what Speed has done is put Africa in a positive light. None of that Mr. Beast. Look at these poor wretched niggas. They got no water. Speed has put Africa on his back as a 20-year-old kid and put it in a positive light globally because his reach is so fucking big. His reach is so massive. So he's put Africa. I just case Africa itself, from Botswana to see, people didn't even know just because his reach is so big in Botswana, you found out that people can't even buy diamonds. Diamonds are all controlled by the biggest and white people. They're like, what? Yeah. So things that he goes to, just the love he's showing between African people. He must say he's an African, not a pretendian. He's an African. So it's been overwhelming, successful image of Africa. That's what fucked up years of CIA propaganda is done on African people. Where you see a Mr. Beast. Look at these wretched ass niggas without any water, all fucked up and sorry, and the way they worship. It been none of that. None of that poverty porn. Go ahead, Joe.
I'd say so many Kenyans, including myself, and so many people had said once he gets into Kenya, it's going to be crazy. Like more than African countries. Like if you look at the videos that have been actually shared before he landed here, and the exact prediction of people saying that actually is gonna trend more than any other African countries toward. It was it, and he gained 360,000 followers just being in Kenya. Within that time, he was in Kenya. He reached 48 million while he was actually just streaming and in a helicopter being shown the Nairobi tour and all that here. So I'm gonna share this video of some of the activities, maybe some of those you guys who have not seen the activities he was in, and of course he was put into one of our amazing, most valued, world-known culture, the Matatu culture. Yet, of course,
he was streaming. He said, "Wow, I'm on TV. I'm streaming."
Yeah, it was amazing, man. I can't lie. Personally, I was just smiling the whole day. I was laughing. My dog was looking at me crazy, like, "What are you laughing about?" Yeah, I'm happy. I was just like laughing, just looking at these videos. Then I'm just smiling. I love the way how he's so open-minded, so connected to the people. The people also just naturally, like, there for him, and I just love this, and it's just an African thing, because personally, even when we go to Tanzania, it's the same thing we receive. We get the same love. Like Africa is just full of love. And whatever you've been told is a lie. So you have Africans are full of. That's why Speed was crying in Kenya, and because as African American, being an African American man, he's full of love, and he's showing Africans love, and they're reciprocating it back to him. From Kenya, South Africa, to all the lies that have been told that we hate you, you hate us, all that divisional shit is all lies. And so that's why I said he doesn't even know the impact he's made on a global level of putting Africa on the map positively. No goopy ass damn poverty porn. Go ahead, Joe. This video.
Nairobi just
I'll translate where you guys is speaking Swahili.
got shut down by a streamer. Look at these crowds. Wanasiasa hawaamini.
Yeah, he's saying politicians can't even believe this, because normally when you pull this crowd, it's politicians, right? Because that is also the most expected thing. I mean, we saw him pulling crowds in most of the African countries he went to, South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all that. But this crowd in Kenya was crazy, because these people actually had put a whole concert for him. We had DJs, we had dancers at KICC. waiting for him, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
the kids at the school, and the kids at the school on Sundays, like, you guys go to school on Sunday? Yeah.
Nairobi just got shut down by a streamer. Look at these crowds. Wanasiasa hawaamini. His arrival was announced by the tourism board, and Speed's Kenyan tour was nothing short of magical. The guy cooked ugali and chapati. Akagongona umse anunue shati ya
Yeah, he was conned though. He was conned to buy a shirt for 5,000 Kenyan shilling. God damn, I'm like, God, but yo, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do to somebody.
He did what? What did he do?
He was conned. The t-shirt he bought for 5,000 Kenyan shillings. That was a con. He was conned without knowing. So we blame the guy, number one, who was touring him around, because he could have actually bargained on his behalf, but didn't. He didn't even dare to bargain. 5,000.
No, he doesn't know about bargaining, Joe. But then he also gave some school, like, he don't know about bargaining.
What we had this, the guy on the black, the guy, if you can see,
Yeah.
let me see if I can expand it, right? The guy with the black was the guy given the assignment, because in every African country, if you've noticed, he has someone who's showing him.
Yeah, some around, yeah.
So this was the guy I think he had picked for the best in tourism when it comes to streamers, and he could have actually bargained on his behalf, but didn't. He didn't. Speed bought a mango for 100 bob. That's crazy. We don't buy mango for 100 bob. What are you talking about? But anyway, it is
5,000.
That shows you should be proud of me. You should be proud of me.
Visited Upper Hill School, played rugby, and even joined the choir. He went to Nairobi National Park and fed wild animals, including a rhino, which he named Rinaldo. And then he genuinely asked,
Ruto, who is Ruto?
He didn't know who Ruto is, which is amazing. Now, this made Kenyans very happy because he didn't know who Ruto is. Now, currently, when Speed landed in Kenya, Ruto made a video too. He said, Speed, welcome to Kenya. This is the magical Kenya. The video is going viral. So if you look at the comments on that, Kenyans are like, this guy is just trying to find political props of how the youth can actually support him, thinking that he cares. You don't care about the youth in your own goddamn country. You don't support content creators. You don't support talent in any sort of way.
That's them. Exactly. That's them. That's what politicians are trying to catch on the Speed's clout. You know, you have like 50 million almost 50 million fucking followers. It's amazing. Then you got all this passion around, especially in Africa. This is goddamn political clout. So they're trying to attach themselves to him.
na watu wa State House wakachangamka.
Jambo Speed. Welcome to Kenya. Karibu Kenya.
Makofi.
The suckers.
Of course, Anganya experience ni lazima.
You come to Kenya, I'd advise most of you to experience the Nganya, which is maybe for some of you, if you're not used to the speed. For me, I don't use these matatus because of the speed. It gives me a panic attack most of the times. I don't like it because I swear these people go like they bend the car. It's like walking on two wheels. And they're driving like what and then the music is like too loud. You can't even anything. So personally, being honest, even when I'm going to town, I'll take a very quiet, simple matatu, which is a mini bus.
And organizers wa watu walikuwa wa Mid Speed got the chance to meet him on Mombasa Road. Unaona kimbelembele ni baya. He later visited Mkuru, where again the government showcased the progress in housing, and there he met Gen Z Goliath. This is how you know Speed is not at this level for nothing. He immediately saw a good opportunity to create content with Goliath, and today Aland is the tallest man in Africa. Is he?
Where exactly?
It was back
to so many tall other Africans. Sudanese are actually very tall, very, very tall.
To the CBD, and the crowds followed him. He got the Safari Rally experience, received his drawings, and by the way, what were those lips? Anyway, DC artist. And finally, he went to the top of KICC and enjoyed a beautiful view of Nairobi. And to make Kenya even more memorable, he gained over 360,000 subscribers, hitting 48 million YouTube subscribers. Please follow me too.
Okay, please.
Now, also with all the talk about how Speed should have seen Kenya, I honestly think the organizers did a very good job.
Yep.
Shout out to Colo Blue and the entire crew. That was a great
They did.
exposure for Kenya. What did you think of his tour? Tell me in the comments. I'm Eric Mugo.
It was amazing. It was amazing. But on this other end, of course, we have opportunists who always see something happening and now they
Of course.
we had after now Aisha Speed has been making trends in Africa, and because of course before this we had Mr. Beast who had come to several African countries, I believe 10 of them. Remember that was last year, 2024.
Only one. The only one I know he went to. I know he went to Kenya, Zimbabwe, and some other place. Was it Uganda and Central African Republic? It was like, look at these rich and dirty niggas I'm helping.
Exactly. So during this weekend, I actually learned he was in Dubai because I saw there was again still something dwelt on poverty. If you're not exposing poverty and how you can benefit from Mr. Beast, you're not benefiting from him. So he had put up this project which was supposed to showcase how you are actually helping your community. One of the content creators from Kenya is a Kibera resident and was going around giving people food in Kibera, giving them clothes, and because of that and tagging the expected companies to be tagged, and including him, he won the nomination and went to Dubai. He was, paid for to go to Dubai and all that. So he's been showing us literally what has been happening with Mr. Beast's tour. But if you look at now what Aisha Speed, and this is why we need to get the difference with white people and our very own people, because I've never seen personally any African who comes to Africa to exploit, being honest. And if there is, maybe we've not seen, maybe
it's rare, exactly.
Yeah, maybe people like Tariq, maybe that's their aim, or maybe that's what talking
of course.
Maybe people like this guy was supposed to come to Kenya the other time. This other, I've forgotten his name. The one Iwaton was supposed to be bringing.
That's about Dr. Umar Johnson.
Yeah, exactly, Dr. Umar. Because I don't know. Personally, I'm gonna talk from what I've seen. I've never seen.
Umar's a con man, but he doesn't come to exploit Africans. He wants to put Africans in a positive light, but he's still a con man trying to get money. But Tariq, even though when Tariq was in Africa, see, with him. Tariq is a con man too, but at that time when he was conning, he was putting Africa in a positive light back then. But he came years ago, 8-9 years ago, he was like, oh, family, Africa's the place to be. When he was in South Africa, then Zimbabwe, and then Zanzibar, that's when he was on his positive African shit. Africa was great. Africa's all about love and blah, blah. And then it was only the last 6 years he switched it up with that FBA shit. So he wanted to make it. But when he came to Africa 8-9 years ago and was touring, he was getting big crowds in South Africa and Zimbabwe. It's all love then. So he hasn't came back and started talking shit in Africa. So when Tariq was going to Africa back then, it was always streams. That's what the Africans always say. Always get on and said, when you used to come down, you was always love. When you was in Zimbabwe and South Africa, and it was always love. Because y'all were buying this goopy CDs. That's them goopy DVDs. That's why. Go ahead, Joey.
Yeah, so Mr. Beast said he's planning to come to Kenya, but like I said, he was and had a bunch of African content creators who have been showcasing poverty to go to Dubai. And he said after that, because they have met the goal that was expected of showing poverty, they're going to visit. Yeah, they're going to visit Ghana. That's the only thing that is given them. So I'm not sure if they're going to be funded anything after that, but this is what he had to say. Let me share this. The audio. Just a minute, please.
It is okay to be rich, but in my case, I mean, you have a nicer car than me. I don't like. I splurge on building studios. I splurge on giving away money. I splurge on spending a lot on videos.
Actually, one thing I can say, and what people need to understand, because that's also something else that. I mean, white people are exploiters naturally. We also have to go back to their true nature, right? But if you look at more of the Africans, that's why I'm trying to use African Americans. whatever. So long as you're an African and you're coming for other African countries, this is not the expectation. You're not gonna come here and brag about your money because that's a big red flag. If you understand
No.
also as an African, you're not gonna come here
Did
try
you
to.
did you hear Speed say anything about his money? And he's richer than Mr. Beast. So did you hear Speed say anything about any money? No.
Exactly. So you have to come here, and the same thing I think you've mentioned some time back. Last year we were having this conversation at the same time. You need to connect with the people. You need to
Exactly.
network. You use the term network. You need to network with the people. You have to create that. How do I say trust? Because I should speak if he was to come back to Kenya. Trust me, now he has built something that he does.
Of course, and every country's got, and that's why he said, I'm definitely gonna build a couple homes in Africa because he had connections with the people. Because he's showing you that I am you. He's not there to exploit any Africans and say, oh, look at this and get money out of African people. He's there to show love and just have connections again. But Mr. Beast, it's always exploited kid. It's always poverty porn.
I really love that about iShow Speed and also the rest of the African streamers or YouTubers who come here and show the positive of Africa because you're not trying to be the white people. Because for the longest time, if you understand, we've been sold this narrative of white people are our saviors. But the fact that you're coming here to show people actually this is more than money. We're supposed to be connecting. And next time I come, the fact that I've already connected with you, next time when I come here, I'm gonna be able to build with this type of people. I've seen interest in this. I've seen interest in this. From there, actually, again, people are gonna come in you more. But this white people, every time they come, is always about how much money they have, how much money they can spend on us, how much money. And I hate that. And I love the fact that most of the Africans, again, are trying to prove that wrong. They're trying to showcase, hey, this is more than the money. Especially, and I love the fact it's happening to Africans with Africans because we're all Africans. I don't know, I'm sorry to use that, but African American, yes, you're African American, but the DNA still goes back to Africa. We've been discussing this. I don't care if you're an Indian, an Asian, Black person, or whatever you call yourselves. Once you understand how to connect with your people, this is going to be very, very easy for you to work along with people right here. You're not going to even be easily exploited. Because I think also one of the things that, and the mindset iShow Speed has, and of course, being in the several countries he has been, of course, there's always people are going to beg. That's just the truth. I mean, as much as we had so many people trying to put that negativity like it's the main issue, it's always going to be there. I mean,
Of course, I told you I always get beggars, but I understand. But I understand the situation. They beg because all the wealth has been stolen out of the country, and they don't understand why they've been put. But I'm not going to show. I'm not going to put in no video. Oh, look at these wretched African beggars. Are you crazy? He's not saying. Speed ain't even mentioned nothing about no beggars at all. Why would I put that and try to show disrespect to African people? Why would I do that? It's only these fake FBAs that brought that up. Oh, Speed is around here. Speed is it's got beggars and blah. Has Speed said anything about any beggars? No. And then they get mad about we got these fake FBA morons talking about. But Speed went to Eswatini. Oh, the king of Eswatini ain't no good. What's he got to do with that? He just wanted to meet the people. What's he got to do with the king and the condition Eswatini? That's their job to overthrow their king and bring in a better thing. King, he should know what he's going to. Speed is 20 years old. He was going there just to meet the people of African people. It has nothing to do about who controls Eswatini. They try to find just this to be contrary because this fucks up their narrative about Africans on the continent, off the continent. Because at the end of the day, we're all African people, and we shouldn't be fighting each other. We shouldn't have hate, animosity towards each other, and that's what he's showing. And I love how he's making white people go crazy and these FBAs go crazy because the love. And Kenya just showed overwhelming love. Kenya, like he said Kenya's been number one. It's been number one. Kenya's beat South Africa. It's been number one. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, so but as we move away from that, also to understand what we're talking about, because if you look at also how the narrative is controlled when it comes to Africa, specifically in Africa, leave alone even the whole system how it's been set up, because the thing we understood and which most of us here have understood, and the percentage of the people, because it's talking about the percentage of the people who understand, who are controlled, who control the world and all that. Last week we understood that everything is about race, whether we like it or not. So when you go back to actually again, now you understand why white people have to use money, and why black people, we can easily connect naturally and still be full of love, and we can eat and drink and wake up the next morning. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm gonna welcome you to my house, because again, if I go back to the real African cultures and traditions now, leave alone the fake African cultures and tradition, the real African culture and tradition. If today a kid came and he was lost, because I've seen this actually in my uncle's village a lot. When you come and you're lost and you're asking for a direction, the first thing you're given is water. Like, hello, do you want some water? You're given water. If you don't have anywhere to go, you can be given a bed, a bed or a place to stay for the night. Then maybe the next morning you're gonna be guided towards your next journey. That was always the thing. If people actually
that was African
histories or stories, a neighbor or a stranger, especially if African, when you're lost, you're welcomed, you're fed, you can bathe.
So how can you be called savages, Joe?
I don't know how. Well, the real savages are trying to use actually some bribing. The real savages are bribing us. That's why they have to use their fake money system. Again, it goes back to this whole system, their fake money system. But still understanding the system, I bumped into this interesting article, which was talking about how we have the percentage of people who control the world, those who are puppets, those who are asleep, those who know what's going on, and how those percentages play along the mind games. So they're saying 1% of the 1% does control the world, which is very true, because I think it was 10 Speed or someone questioned last week a very, very interesting question, and something that I've always been questioning. Who do the Israel is not, or whatever they call themselves, who do they think they are to be controlling this system? How is it that only a small percentage, a group of family members, are controlling the largest percentage of the world? That shit doesn't make sense. And then we go back to actually the real now about justice. This still small percentage that controls the world cannot be held accountable. Are you fucking kidding me? And then we're gonna go deeper in it tonight, because we have so many military planes, whatever, going to Israel, for the strike of Iran, and so many things happening. People are talking about the possibility of World War III, which is not a possibility.
Yeah, because what you see exactly. So, not to cut you off. Yeah, see, that's why they destabilized Iran. Iran's about to topple, because Iran was fighting what? The Israel, the Rothschild family. They don't have one of those banks in Iran. So now they're in Iran. The CIA's been in Iran, causing destabilization, and now the country's about to fall. And like I said, this is another shock to Russia, because shout out, like I tried to tell you guys. I said, you Africans don't know. You don't understand the military. You really don't. If you thought Russia and China was more powerful than America, I told you, they're not. Not even close. Not even a little bit. And a little bit. Tried to explain that to you. So see, even the Chinese and the Russians, to tell you the truth, said we've never seen no shit like in Venezuela. Exactly. And the Russians now said, anybody being and the African puppets are seeing you fall under Russia, you don't think you'll get protected, because Russia won't be able to defend yourself from us if we decide to come get your ass. Russia won't be able to defend you. Remember, Iran is a ally of Russia, so was Venezuela. And so Russia's not able to stop them overthrowing Iran right now. All he can do is tell the Ayatollah, flee to Russia and we'll protect you here. But we can't stop America from overthrowing your ass and putting a new puppet in Iran. So That's what's going on in Iran, where they're trying to overthrow that government. And I said that was going to happen when they bombed it. I said they got CIA agents all throughout Iran, and they're going to try to overthrow that motherfucker. Overthrow it, because it's a threat to Israel and the Rothschild family and the banking elites. You're going to get a bank in there, and you're going to do what you're told to do. And the morons in the street are like, yeah, we're going to get rid of our media, yeah. And you're going to get a vicious puppet. That's why. So you don't even know why. Even though your regime has been brutal, because it's one of these goofy Islamic shits. And it's funny. They never went after Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia is their puppet Islam state. They created. They got all them goofy ass Islamic rules. Then why they mad when they got the same shit in Iran? And the people don't want to be wearing goddamn goofy ass that shit that covers your body from head to toe. All that crazy Islamic shit. Nobody want to wear that shit. So, but that's what you got Trump saying. If anybody does anything against the people of Iran, we're going to come in and overthrow the government. Why they don't never do that with Saudi Arabia? Saudi Arabia got the same backward shit. Because Saudi Arabia's their puppet already. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, literally. So we're going to continue with that more of what is happening in Iran. I think also Syria. I'm not really sure.
They already got Syria. That's, yeah. Hell yeah. And it's funny. Assad was another Russian asset. Assad now what? Is now living in exile in Russia because Russia couldn't protect Syria from America. America overthrew Syria, now got Syria and got their oil. And that's what they're about to do to Iran. And so this is America telling you, if you think Russia or China is going to protect you, you better think again. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
You're breaking, I think.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
It's my internet. Was it my internet or yours? Something you're breaking. I think it's mine or yours.
Oh, go ahead. It's got to be yours.
I'm not sure. Because I've seen
I think it's yours. That'll be yours, Joe. But go ahead.
Okay, so talking about it's okay. So talking about the percentage, like I said, we have 1% of the 1% that controls the world, which is very, very crazy. Like we really need to get serious about this. That is just very diabolical. And we have 4% of 1%, but not really on the hierarchy of 1%, if it makes sense, who are puppets, right? And then we have 90% who are asleep, and 5% who know what is going on and are trying to wake up the 90%. I believe we fall in the category of the 5% as black on fire, literally trying to wake up the 90%. And the question goes back to, and the fact is the 1% don't want the 5% waking up the 90%, which is
exactly.
Or even questioning about what the 4% puppets what they are doing. So we go back, leave out that. So I'm gonna move away from that, and I'm gonna still use this same structure tonight as we discuss about more details on how the Rothschilds, still the Rothschilds, because we have some details, because these people are doing discussions not on the open, but we have people or someone who's connecting the dots. I'm gonna be sharing another amazing, interesting article which is talking about how the Rothschilds, how they are called 1%, the Rothschilds, and the whole family and all that. But go back to this other article now, which is the 4% where we have the puppets, who majority are our African leaders as well. Because if you look at the rest of the world, what it focuses on, it's Africa, where the resources are. And that's why we have so many wars going on in different African countries. Talk about Sudan. Talk about, we've seen now the Somaliland recognition. Shout out to the people saying that, you know, whether we like it, shout out to the people actually talking facts, saying that whether Israel recognizes Somaliland as a country, the rest of the Somali people and Mogadishu people need to understand that this is, you remain being Somalia as a whole. Okay, there's no division in this. Whether you like it or not, they're doing this for their own political props. But the facts remain that hey, you're not going to be running this country as a country. It remains being part of Somaliland as long as some of the people agree with this. I don't know if it really makes sense. So this other article talks about the African leaders and how they remain silent when it comes to the real power challenges, because the real power challenges we're talking about, again, we had Gaddafi, and we're not gonna go deeper into Gaddafi, but a little bit I'm gonna share an article which explains now why Gaddafi is a good example, right? So let me try pull this just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. I think I'd cue it. Yeah, sure. Okay, so this explains one of the real power, or of course the threatening real power is Gaddafi, and it kind of breaks down why they hated Gaddafi before I go back to the article shared on my screen. So of course we have free healthcare, which is what also Ibrahim Traore is doing. Free education, that is what the Alliance Sahel state is doing. We have free electricity, the same thing the Alliance Sahel state is doing. Citizens got oil profits. That is exactly what the Alliance Sahel state is doing, using their own resources to profit themselves and their economy. The government paid 50% off your car. I don't know if yet the Alliance Sahel state is doing this, but this was Gaddafi. And we also had interest and free loans. And of course, which was $50,000 for newlyweds, $5,000 per child, because I remember actually we were discussing these things when we were in high school, but I didn't understand a goddamn thing about politics. I used to hear people talking about, in Libya people actually have free this, and I'm like, what the? I didn't understand any of this until today. It takes me back to high school because I had some people who understood this actually in high school, man. It's crazy. So the beginning of it is that's in 1959. That was at the age of 27. Gaddafi led a bloodless coup, ending King Idris' monarchy and promises to end foreign control and share Libya oil wealth with its people. And exactly that is what he did. Before Gaddafi, Libya was one of the poorest nations in Africa. So was Burkina Faso. So was Mali.
Controlled by, I think Libya was controlled by Italy, if I'm not mistaken. Italy, I think Italy controlled Libya.
So within a decade, when he took over power, the highest human development index, within a decade, we had the highest human development index in Africa.
You know why? Because he's allowed to use the resources, which they ain't even theirs either, because they are invaders too, to African people. But anyway, those Arabs were now allowed to take their land back and then use those resources to benefit the people. There should nobody be poor in Africa. Go ahead,
exactly. We're not gonna get into them even invading the country. Let us
I know.
Let us look at the powers first that the 1% don't like, right? And then we also had literacy jumping from 25% to 80%. I mean, what?
Yeah, that means most of the people were backward and stupid. And he knew to have a country, you must educate the people. They went from 25 to 80. So mostly everybody in Libya under him was literate, could read and write and go to school.
Exactly. And then we also had life expectancy rising from 51 to 74 years. From 51 to 74 years.
Good health care.
His strategy and agenda was to use oil and to benefit the people, right? Now, in 1970s, Gaddafi nationalizes Libya's oil. He kicked out foreign oil companies who took the majority share. Profits went into free healthcare, education, infrastructure.
Now, let me say something. Imagine if Nigeria did that. Nigeria's got 10 times more oil wealth than Libya, but the African is a coward. He's a moronic coward. He will never still take back his own shit, except for Ibrahim Traore. But most African man's a coward. That's why you're poor, because your resources are going to benefit the 1%. Go ahead, Joe.
So we also, of course, after using the healthcare education infrastructure, this is, of course, in terms of oil, which was reducing, of course, poverty. By the 1980s, remember he was doing this in 1970. So by the 1980s, every citizen had a home. Okay, and that is what
Yeah.
Ibrahim Traore is doing to ensure
Yeah.
every Burkina person.
That's why they're trying to put a bullet in his head.
Exactly. Which, of course, was reducing homelessness. Homelessness was illegal because the state guaranteed housing. Okay, and of course, we saw the gold diner threat. In 2010, Gaddafi proposes a gold-backed African currency to replace the US dollar for African trade. If African oil sold in gold, not dollars, the petrodollar system would collapse. Of course, yeah, no IMF chains. Gaddafi refused to borrow from the IMF and the World Bank, of course, which is
He
our
didn't. He didn't need to because the wealth of Libya. He didn't need to because the wealth of Libya made so that he didn't have to borrow. There should nobody in Africa to borrow these fake loans with this fake money because your resources can fund everything you need. And what? See, Gaddafi didn't have investors coming to Libya. Investors. Why we need investors and all that old crazy shit you tell the goofy African when his resources would pay for everything? I don't need no investors. Now Libya, now that they got it back, is what? Impoverished, ruined, and destroyed. That's what they want Africa to be. Good.
Exactly. So there's no slavery debt because when we know most of the 51 country, no, the 49 countries, because we are 54, yeah, the 51 countries actually, the 51 countries now currently are in the debt slave. Of course, understanding the structure and the detailing of the IMF and the World Bank, which I read for you guys last year. I did a whole show on this for the people, including me, for us to understand why African countries are always in this particular trap of the IMF and the World Bank. It's very clear. Once you put yourself in this system, there's no walking out. And if you have to walk out, you have to pay all the debts with a bigger interest, and it's all in dollars, which most of the African countries can do.
Exactly.
There's nothing we've built for ourselves. We still depend on the same countries that give us loan to refine and process our mineral resources, which are very raw. They gain the biggest percentage.
How about that? Because you didn't need no loans. If you just develop your own resource extraction and refineries, they need you. Africa don't need nobody.
Exactly. So Libya had a zero foreign debt and 150 billion in reserves. Goes deeper and they fund the military bases. They oppose NATO invasions in Africa, funded African Union projects for independence from Western loans. He refused to recognize Israel, of course, which is a big problem.
Of course, exactly.
How dare you? This is where we go back to the 1% now. Call for one solution for Arabs and Jews. Publicly condemned Israel wars at the UN. And suddenly the Zionist-controlled Western media turns. Suddenly Gaddafi goes from eccentric leader to brutal dictator.
Dictator. Yeah, exactly. Now he's a dictator, and he must be gotten rid of, Joby, at all costs. And remember the same thing. We must free his people from him. Same thing to you about Iran. He must a dictator. Same thing to you about Maduro. He's a dictator. They don't give a shit about no people.
The same strategy they're using on the Alliance Sahel state.
Of course. They don't know any new. Exactly. It's the same old play, Joby.
Exactly, which are all lies. Stories of human rights flooded headlines. Called humanitarian invasion grew louder, and the NATO bombing 2011 under the banner of protecting civilians. NATO launches 26,000 airstrikes.
They protecting civilians, Joe, by blowing them up, and now Libya is a complete hellhole, impoverished. Why are they talking about the people now in Libya? Because they stole their oil, they stole their gold. Remember, they even stole all their money. Where's Gaddafi's gold? They stole it. The Rothschild stole that money. So, but you ain't talking about Libya. We need to go help the people of Libya now that they're all fucked up and impoverished.
So of course, they went ahead and after they destroyed the infrastructure, they ensured that they hunted down and killed Gaddafi by October 2011,
Never.
on October 2011, sorry. And Libya falls into chaos and slavery markets emerge.
Imagine that. But they're not talking about the slavery markets, Joby, and the poverty now. People didn't help the people. And you got Barack Obama fake ass talking about Libya might have been my worst decision. We know it wasn't his decision. You know, he's told to do it, and that's why it got done. And doing those fake ass, it might be one of my worst decisions. But why they not going in to help the people now? They're not worried about the people now, Joby.
Now we go back to the 1%. They control the media, they control the military,
Exactly.
most of the military bases in most of the countries. Of course, it's very, very easy for you to use these dumbass, non-aware countries to use the same thing we have now currently happening in Haiti. Use Kenya, go put their troops right there, and
Exactly.
use Benin. Use which other one was it? We had Benin, we had Kenya, we had.
I forgot.
Damn, I forgot too. God damn, come back. Oh shit, I'm gonna remember it and I'm gonna show it tonight. But yeah, use these troops to destroy, with your military based, whatever's in your country to go and destroy even more. But yeah, we had free after Gaddafi. We had free healthcare, gone. We had free education, of course, gone. Oil,
All gone.
all stolen. Open slave markets emerging to Tripoli, Libya.
See the freedom and all the fake news, all the fake propaganda. Look at the freedom they brought. You get no more free housing, get no more free school, you get no more free medical, you get no free nothing. But they saved you.
So what is the pattern about this? So we go back to still the chart I've shared about the 1%, the 4%, the 90%, and the 5%, literally. The pattern is the country has natural resources, challenges Western, supports Palestine. What are the results? Demonized, sanctions, military invasion, then leads to a collapse of a country. It wasn't about human rights. It's never about human rights. Never. It's always about resources, including oil, gold, and killing a threat to the global banking system. A debt-free nation with resources plus a leader who won't bow to central banks is equal to
exactly.
In the headlines, in quote, a dictator. They called it.
Who won't bow to the Zionists? Who won't bow to the Zionist hats? Who own the banks?
Exactly. And just like what they did in Venezuela, they called it liberation, which is a distraction. It's not liberation. They saved literally they saved themselves, not the people. And of course, they usually save themselves, as they always do. So I'm going to be literally sharing much more with the chart of the 1%, the 4%, the 5%, and the 90% for us to understand what we're talking about. As we go deeper with the Rothschilds agreeing to the invasion of Iran and all that. So many details. I have an article, literally so many details on that. But this is crazy. It is crazy. Now we go back to the Africa because, the real power is not just...
It's only crazy because that... It's only crazy because now you know how the world really works.
I do, man. I do. Sometimes, I don't know. There's something I think I question myself today. I'm like, God damn, I know so much. Like, no, I was thinking about when you said that, like, oh, guys, remember when you got Joby so innocent? I was like telling myself, no, anymore. Shit, I'm so... I told myself this in the morning, I was washing the dish. I'm like, God damn, not anymore. I'm so grown. Like, God damn, I'm goddamn 27. This is crazy. And I know so much, which has literally enabled me to understand the spaces I need to be in, man. Because you won't find me in no shady ass spaces. I don't even know. You can't find me in no shady ass spaces. You won't find me. I'm even outgrew that. I was telling myself this year I'm gonna be going to clubbing a lot, but I'm like, nah, I'm not willing to do that. I don't want to do that.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
All adults always outgrow. when you become a certain age, a certain knowledge, you outgrow that, Joe. It just happens. So good luck
Yeah,
with that.
that's what I'm saying. Like I was telling myself, I was invited on something this Saturday by Christine, Shmani, and what. I didn't even turn up, and it was for free. I was like, God, I'm not coming. No, I'm not coming. I'm not coming. I got some shit to do. I'm not coming. But it's just to look at how am I going to spend my time here? What's the benefit of it? Because personally, I feel like it's more, and with the space I'm in, I'd rather be in more money conversating, money conversated groups, because currently, like if you look at personally, I've been watching many financial
Program.
literacy financial
Yeah.
literacy type of podcasts, videos. Like that's literally now my YouTube, like what it's filled with, like how
Yeah,
you
your
can,
focus. Yeah, I
you
got
know,
you.
how can you start a business? How can because most of again we have the idea of always wanting to start a business, but you think about it so big, like you're like, God damn, I need to have like $100,000 for me to start this. No. And the fact that I've started a business personally before with that the little I could, is I need to be able to do that. But at the same time, you need some guidance, and it's good to listen to this kind of people or programs
True.
or information that can help you and guide you
True.
so many things. So personally, if I'm not going to a discussion that is money oriented, catch me in my house, man, with my dog. But yes, literally going back to now the why African leaders are always silent when it comes to the real power challenges, and
Yeah,
why
because they know.
to assassinations. We have a setup of it because it talks about the Africa greatest mistake wasn't corruption. It was believing independence was meant for freedom, which is a big fact. Like behind every fallen leader was a system that never left. Colonial flags
Exactly. Exactly. Never left. All they did was white supremacy is sophisticated. All it did was rebranded itself. It never left. They're not gonna leave the wealth. They're not gonna leave and give Africa back his wealth when you're dealing with savages. What? I'm not leaving this wealth to the hands of you niggas when I've been controlling it through colonialism for 150 years. Think I'm gonna just leave and give the wealth to you? Absolutely not.
Exactly. So of course, this leads to a controlled stay. And before I even go deeper to break down, you need to understand one of the countries. I mean, some of the countries where we had great leaders, but they were taken down. Congo, we had Burkina Faso, we had Sankara. Currently, we have Ibrahim Traore. Guinea-Bissau, they lost Cabral. It's called Cabral. Togo lost Olifio. South Africa lost Hani. Not the way people always put it, Nelson Mandela.
Nah, that's
we have Mozambique, which lost Mondlane, if I'm pronouncing
so
it.
Michelle.
Yeah, Libya lost Gaddafi. Every one of them challenged the system, and it goes back to the 1%.
Exactly.
The 1%. Out there, you talking about 1%. Like you're trying to educate 90% to challenge 1%. You know how crazy this is? If you think about it deeper,
it is crazy.
God damn. We have someone who emerges from the 5% trying to educate about the 1% to the 90%.
That's why I told you. And they control it. That's why I told you there's never no money. There's no money in black liberation. There's no money in teaching black people because they're going to destroy you. They're going to make sure your message doesn't get out, and then eventually they're going to try to take you down because they control and own everything. And your message is counterproductive to their theft, wrath, and control over the system. You're a threat to the system.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Good.
Okay, and they saying, and whenever a leader tried to break the chain tightened around the neck. Africa's most dangerous president, Sankara rode a bicycle to work, sold government luxury cars, slashed ministers' salaries. Told Africans to stop begging, to grow their own food, to wear their own clothes. Burkina Faso began to rise. Then now, one after the gunshots echoed through the capital. His closest friend led to the coup. Sankara was riddled with bullets. A revolution died in 10 minutes. Of course, that's what they're trying to do as well with Ibrahim Traore, with the closest.
Of course.
They're calling it a Milica Cabral. I can't pronounce that if I'm pronouncing correctly.
That's
The
nice.
mind
That's
that
nice.
the mind that terrified an empire. We have Portugal, which ruled Guinea-Bissau with fear and force. Cabral ruled with discipline and ideas. He trained farmers to become soldiers, taught them to fight and to become leaders. Portugal was losing. Then one night, as he returned home, his own men turned their guns on him. He fell before seeing his victory. Empires fear generals. Empires fear generals. They fear thinkers. I think he meant empires don't fear generals. They fear thinkers even more. I think that's
Exactly.
Patrice Lumumba was a good example, and of course, used the man who refused to sell Congo in 1960. Congo was free on paper, but beneath worth trillions, foreign companies still. Lumumba stood before the world and said Congo will no longer be owned. Within months, he was overthrown, arrested, beaten, and flown to his enemies. He was executed in secret. His body dissolved in acid. Years later, foreign governments admitted to their role. The message was clear: freedom has limits. Okay, we have Sylvanus Olympia, who of course was a leader to Togo. Togo's first president rejected French control. He was the first Togo's president, refused their army, refused their currency. He wanted a nation that stood on its own. The army wanted power. One dawn, soldiers hunted him down through the streets. They shot him outside the US Embassy. Africa's first coup began. All right. Then we have, of course, Chris Hani, that is in the South Africa, who lost, leave alone Nelson Mandela, the man who could have changed the South Africa. Apartheid was collapsing. The old order was terrified. Hani had the youth and the workers in the streets. He was more popular than Mandela, literally. Then a bullet ended his future. South Africa
Of
stood
course.
on the edge of civil. Literally, what are we being told? That most of these leaders, they don't have power, because when you go back to the same thing,
No.
their excellency, honor, your excellency, your honor. If you don't do what the white man wants you to do, because Africa is not free. This is just
Exactly.
a term that was sold to us, but it doesn't apply in reality. They are fully in
Exactly.
control of our continent, and it's because also we have leaders who have refused to stand up, like the mentioned leaders: Lumumba, Sankara, Cabral, Olympio, Hani, Mondaleem, and Gaddafi. They choose to become white man dick
Well,
sucker. Use the word.
of course. Nobody wants to. You can see that video of Gaddafi being dragged to the street and sodomized. They know that's real. They putting stuff in while they was killing Gaddafi. They putting stuff in his butthole. Woo! Shit. So it takes courage, Joey, to be a revolution. It takes courage. That's why they got the weak puppets in it. They're gonna encourage. They're all cowards.
But
Yeah.
the total truth, as we literally wind up, because I'm taking so much time, I'm literally listening to someone else's time, and it talks about the final truth about the 1%, the 4%, and the 90%. I've not included the 5% because the 5% know what's happening. The final
Exactly.
truth is that they weren't killed because they failed. They were killed because they were winning. Africa's
Exactly.
was never poverty. It was sovereignty, which they keep on using. Or
Exactly. African problem is that African problem has never been poverty. You can't be poor and be on the richest continent on the planet. It was your sovereignty. You have a control of your resources in the country. It's your sovereignty.
And winds up by saying, and sovereignty is always very dangerous. Don't keep this truth to yourself. Speak and awaken the masses, because the 90% need to hear the 5%. I don't know how with the 5% we can be louder when we're being shadow banned like this, taken down,
Exactly. Like Christine talking about. Christine think it's the way I talk. Christine, no, it's what Christine said. You get take down, Keith, because the way you talk. No, it ain't the way I talk, Christine. It's what we talk. You think they concerned about cursing? You got people cursing, got million followers. It's not about how we say it. It's about what we say, Christine. We can do no cursing at all. It's about what we talk about, the topics, about waking people up. That's what it's about.
Actually, it's not about cursing exactly. Because at first we thought it was.
Yeah.
I remember some people were telling you need to, even you had mastered like I need to stop cursing and all that. But it's not about cursing. Literally, it's not. It is about how exactly as you said, how we tell the truth, and that's a big problem to this 1%. Because those are the
Right.
big.
Exactly. Exactly. They're not gonna give up their power because we're not cursing, Christine.
It's crazy.
And Joey said, calling them out. Remember when Joey called out the person? They blocked that whole show she did. They blocked another show when she talked about the Nigerian oil, about the rock jobs owning the oil. That show got blocked because it's teaching too much information. There ain't no cursing on that. It's the information, what you're telling, what you're teaching people, how the world really works.
I don't
That's
talk.
the danger.
I'll only talk.
No.
Maybe if I'm using some words, it's because I'm angry about some topics, and I think
Yeah.
also people, some people may not understand. I feel like someone for Christine may not understand, even when the cursing is never even like. Trust me, it's never like intentional. Just like I've seen some people here correcting me, like Sunken one, and some other people like Joby with the foul language. It's not intentional, trust me. Because even before I met Keith, it's not like I didn't know how to curse. It's just like you guys curse a lot. Like that's the truth.
Of course, that's true. American brother, we do, Joe. That's true. We know.
It's not like I didn't know how to curse or like it's not. It's just it's something that we don't use it. Even when you use it, people are looking at you like, you say fuck, you say fuck, you say what? Like I can't say that publicly out there. Like fuck you. Like people are gonna be looking at me like, what? Like what? No. So it's just sometimes I feel like personally being a presenter, it's naturally because of the conversations you're having, you get heated up, you're trying to find answers within the conversation as well as much as you're trying to break it down to people.
And we don't, and really funny part about it, we don't even curse much. If you look at all the entertainment programs, do that cursing. No. We don't even curse much. Look at all the goofy rappers on them podcasts. I don't think we said one curse word now. Except for maybe, we said the F-bomb. We ain't said shit today yet. I think all we said was damn, and damn's not even a cuss word. So it has nothing to do with that. It's about the information.
That is so true. But literally, family, we're coming to the end of today's conversation. That has been my topic with you guys, literally based on everything, talking about the African puppets and leaders, calling themselves leaders, how they have amassed wealth in excess. I've not really gone deeper in it because I wanted to include the Kenyan president, but I'll pick it up from tomorrow there on the Pan-African list, because we saw some UN military vehicles entering Kenya. Now, the question that the Kenyans are asking, is this about the gold? Is this about Minnesota? Or is this about Ruto being scared? Like, Ruto doesn't have, and of course, Ruto has no power.
But the UN has nothing to do with Minnesota. Guys, the UN is the United Nations. It has nothing to do with Minnesota.
Some people are saying it could be a way of of America now fully accessing Kenya because of the Minnesota issue, and this will be
they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that through the UN. What they're gonna do is they're their own, since they got the CIA already in Kenya. They're bringing the FBI, do forensic, because remember, all this building in Kenya is a building boom, and sadly enough, I read an article that said I said that, and I want you to put this article before we leave. I told you, because of the bribery in Africa, I'm gonna let you go. Okay, let me just say this. Most of the buildings in Africa and Kenya are uninhabitable. 85% of the buildings in Kenya are uninhabitable because they're not built properly. They'll collapse. That's what I said. They're uninhabitable. Even just, you got smells in the building in there, and you got no central heat. You got no central air, and you got a bribe culture. So I said, man, these buildings shouldn't even be existing then. And then I read an article, they said even the new ones, 85% of Kenya's skyline is there should have been living in them because they've had too many cuts in building because of bribery and all other kind of shit. I was like, what?
We'll extend on that more, because if you talk about the building collapsing, there has been it's like I don't want to say a culture, but it's a culture.
That's because of the bribery and nobody taking it seriously, man.
And don't get me wrong when I say culture. It's culture with the government. The system always stealing money.
It's the culture of bribery. Exactly. That's now
people building some shitty ass whatever. Because even I think last week we had that 12-story building that collapsed that was incomplete.
So I didn't know that. Even the new buildings they're talking about, they're uninhabitable. You shouldn't be in them. All those new skylines in Kenya, they're all fucked up. They're all dangerous as shit because of bribery and not building them properly. So I'm in Kenya. I'm at my own house that I fucking know is structurally right. You're not having me in none of these crazy ass buildings and have me all effed up. So I'm like, what? Because I should have thought about that because of the bribery culture.
And on the land, ensure you also on the land, because I was thinking about it. I think some time back, I'm like, man, because I love. You've seen the back of my balcony. There's like some.
It's beautiful.
People have their own compound. I was like, man, I'd love to retire this way, man. Because I was watching somewhere today. When I was hanging my clothes, I saw my neighbor down the one was their own compound. She was killing a snake while she was trying to like unpluck some kills from her farm. Then she saw a snake. Then I was like, she went to the wood, beating up the snake. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, did you just kill a snake? She's like, yeah. Then she lifted it up. She showed me like it was a green one. I'm like, yeah, I just killed a snake. I'm like, God damn. But then it hit me. I'm like, I'd really love to own a home, but not in someone else's land, because I don't prefer you buying a house in someone else's land. That can bring up issues later or some sort of disagreement. It's better if you own the land, house at the same time.
Of course. Shout out to Wallace. I'll never not own the land. Ever.
Much love, family. It's such a beautiful day. Literally morning on you guys, and it's literally evening right here already. Wharton coming back with Let's Pop, see what's popping, and I'll be back later, of course, with the Africa Today show. We also have the rhythm scoop, so ensure you turn up and tune in and see what we're gonna be discussing on today's conversation. I've been your lovely host, J.O.B.Y. Shout to Drama Spiritual Baron Scott. Shout to literally everyone who's been with me this morning. I appreciate you for taking the time.
Let me say something. Hey, did that lady die? You guys remember Art Kathy? Me and Joey did a show on Art Kathy. Somebody said she died in Ghana. Somebody said she was found dead in Ghana. I don't know.
Check on that.
Good night.